What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. You guys already know what time it is, baby. Time for some live Week 10 fantasy Q&A. So, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys need. Start, sits, ads, drops, roster confidence, roster non-confidence, injury updates. We got a couple things to go over, a couple things that we touched on last night that we need to talk about again. So, it's Saturday night, man. You guys know what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. So, let's get right to it. Like I said, smash that like button on the way in. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you are new to the channel, hop in the live chat. Let's get it popping. All right. Okay, do not forget, tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, you got a game in Germany. We got Seattle versus Tampa Bay. So, if you have Kenneth Walker, if you have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Rachaad White, Cade Otton, Seahawks defense, whoever it may be. If you have a Seahawks or Buccaneers player, don't forget, if you want them in your lineup, you need to put them in your lineup. If you don't want them in your lineup, take them out of your lineup. They play early, okay? But no real injury issues there that we need to pay attention to. You know, I don't think you're gonna get Alvin Kamara earlier in the season, so I think we should be good there. So, all right, what we got here? Players expected to play tomorrow include Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Kyron Williams, Elijah Mitchell, the return, Kyle Juszczyk, Debo, Jarvis Landry, Christian Watson, Ryan Tannehill, Evan Ingram, and T.J. Watt. I like how they throw T.J. Watt in all these, in the same group of all these offensive players when he is literally that impactful to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We talked about that a little bit last night. If the Steelers are available in your league, go out and grab them, man. This team is significantly better defensively when T.J. Watt is healthy. All right, let's get to the juicy stuff. Rams Cardinals. There's a strong chance John Wolford, that's a tough one for me, will face off against Colt McCoy tomorrow. Whew. So we got to pay attention to this one, guys. I mean, obviously, a lot of you guys aren't starting Matthew Stafford anyways outside of Superflex double QB leagues, right? But for Kyler Murray owners, this is a 4:05 game. So let's just prepare, right? Then we'll talk about Josh Allen. But, excuse me, this is a 4:25 game. So if you wait and you don't start a quarterback before the Cardinals-Rams game, your options are Colt McCoy, John Wolford, maybe Aaron Rodgers if he got dropped, probably not Dak Prescott, probably not Justin Herbert, maybe Jimmy G, who we've talked a lot about this week, Taylor Heineke, probably your best bet off the waiver wire, but he gets the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, the only other quarterback. Those are your options. If you do not plug in a streaming option before 4:25, and we don't get a true update on Kyler Murray. So this is going to be an absolute freaking headache for Kyler Murray owners. And that includes me. So I have Kyler Murray in one league, the Catch Fam Auction League. So that should be fun. We'll talk more about that as the night goes on. Josh Allen is in line to play tomorrow. It's expected to make a start against the Minnesota Vikings. So, less of a headache there, but keep an eye on Case Keenum. I don't know why, just keep an eye on him because, you know I love Case Keenum. That's my dude. So, yeah, there's your juicy stuff. We might get John Wolford versus Colt McCoy. I think Cooper Kupp is still worth a start here if Stafford doesn't start because he's Cooper Kupp. Tyler Higbee probably is as well. I mean, seriously, a backup quarterback's best friends are players like Cooper Kupp and a tight end like Tyler Higbee. So I think you're fine on the Rams side of things. For the Cardinals, I mean, I guess Zach Ertz, Hopkins are fine. I don't know about Rondell Moore. I don't know. James Conner, I mean, has that same chemistry through the air. I mean, gosh. It's week 10. What can we expect, man? You just hate this type of stuff, right? Justin Simmons will be out tomorrow versus the Titans, but who cares? The Titans have no receivers. Mika Fitzpatrick will be out for the Steelers. And that's it. That's all we got. Okay. So we'll hop more into it as the night goes on, case by case specific. So, all right, guys, hop in the like check, guys. Smash that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Let's try and get as many likes on the stream as possible. Let's have some fun. Happy Saturday night to you guys. Let's talk some fantasy football. Let me get a sip of water and we'll hop right into it. Smokey, what's up, bro? Godwin or Palmer at the flex? I'd say Godwin for a floor, Palmer for more upside. How are you, Smokey? Emil, what's up, man? How are you doing? What up, what up? Damio, what's up? Albert, what's going on? What's up, Matt? How's everyone doing? I appreciate you guys being here tonight. How are you guys? Should I start Godwin, Davis, or McLaurin? I probably actually go McLaurin here. I like him in this matchup. Believe it or not, it's a bad matchup on paper, but overall, the Washington Commanders should be forced to throw the football. And the last time McLaurin squared off against the Eagles, he actually had a pretty good game. So I'll go McLaurin, but if you don't like the matchup, if you're worried, go Godwin. Davis, yeah, nice upside, but very risky. So I probably go McLaurin, then Godwin, then Davis. Warrior Loft, hello, hello. Shelton, good evening. What's going on? Emil, Hawkinson, or Ertz? Tough here. Both top 5 guys. Like, you really can't go wrong, you know. Both have relatively steep matchups, but then we don't know if Kyler Murray is throwing to Ertz, which I don't think ruins his value. But frankly, I go T-Hawk in a competitive game with Josh Allen playing. So I have Ertz and Kittle starting tomorrow. Due to me having half my team on buys, do you think they'll be okay starting, or should I put in Pittman or Everett? I'd probably go Ertz and Kittle there. I think you got the right idea, Dami. I think those are probably your best options. Pittman gets a good matchup, but do you trust a Sam Ehlinger-led Colts offense? That connection to Pittman? I don't know if I do. Kelly, would you drop Pittman on bench and get Russell Wilson to play instead of Justin Herbert? Gosh, that's so tough. I think you get a pretty similar floor and ceiling here. Like, it's still a bad matchup for Russell Wilson, but he should be able to throw the football tomorrow. It's a bad matchup for Justin Herbert ultimately, but at the end of the day, he's going to be in a game script where he needs to throw the football, in my opinion. So I might still lean Herbert here, but if you don't have the faith and overall you want to lean Russell Wilson, I'm not going to talk you out of it. Like, Tennessee has no offense. Or actually, they do have an offense called Derrick Henry. They have no secondary, so Wilson's going to be able to throw tomorrow. But they're going to limit the run game, and the pass rush is going to be there for sure. So I might still lean Herbie here, but it's very close. Yeah, Albert, we got to battle the backup quarterbacks potentially tomorrow. Stevenson or Pierce rest of season? I like both these guys so much. This is an impossible question to answer. I probably will go Pierce, but I could easily go Stevenson. Both are great, Bryce. Both are fantastic. Diego, been a while since I've been on the stream. What's up, bro? How are you doing, man? Great to have you. Great to see you in the house. Alex Palmer, Deontay Johnson. I'd probably go Palmer here. But Deontay's okay, too. But I'd probably go Palmer. I feel like he brings a little bit more upside. As Brandon Cook's playing, let's take a look. He has a murky outlook for Week 10. He is still listed as questionable. That's all I've got. That is literally the worst update I've ever seen. There's no pertinent information there. Zach, to be honest with you, man, I want nothing to do with Brandon Cooks right now. So, like, even if you own him, I mean, I feel bad if you were forced to start him, you know, like if you're relying on him, but I want nothing to do with him. I just picked up Deontay Johnson, and should I start him over Michael Pittman as my wide receiver 1? Yeah, I'd probably go Pittman because it's a better matchup. Yeah, I'll go Pittman because it's a better matchup, but both these guys not bringing good ceilings right now. Pretty safe floor, I guess. I'll go Pittman against the Raiders. If you go Deontay, that's fine. Kyle is too busy playing a new Call of Duty game. Possibly, Albert. Matt, should I start Dawson, Heineke, or Ingram? I mean, if this is a super flex league, I'd probably just start Heineke. I'm assuming that's the scenario here, right, Matt? It's a 2 QB super flex tight end premium. Okay. So Ingram holds some value here, too. I don't mind Ingram against the Chiefs. But I just feel like in most super flex leagues, I'm generally going for the quarterback position. This is a hard one to read. Because this is a bad matchup for Taylor Heineke. He only had 149 passing yards last week against Minnesota. I might, in a tight end premium league, I might go Evan Ingram here. Because I'm a little afraid Taylor Heineke could end up with, like, less points than Evan Ingram. But I do think that the Commanders will be forced to throw the football in this game, which could benefit them. So it's between Heineke and Ingram there, but I wouldn't go Dotson. Not yet. Zachary Sutton or Josh Palmer? Man, Sutton's got a juicy matchup tomorrow, but I'll go Palmer. Geno or Russ? Give me Geno Smith, baby. Wilson Jr., Mostart, Singletary, Herbert, pick one in the flex. I'll go Wilson. Close with Herbert, though, but I'll go Wilson. Anthony, start team PPR, Monroe, Dameon Pierce, Olave, and Godwin. Give me Dameon Pierce and Olave. Just the best overall players so far on the season here. I mean, Monroe brings some nice upside, but I just can't bench Olave right now. Give me Dameon Pierce and Olave, and Olave's got a good matchup. Palmer or Swift in half PPR? I mean, generally in a half PPR league, I'm going to lean towards the running back position and go with DeAndre Swift here. But Palmer's okay if you're worried about Swift not getting as much play time. But I'll probably go Swift in a half PPR. Fantasy Dog, what's up? I got a lot of Murray. Yikes. Uh-oh. Rutro. Jason, what's up, man? How are you doing? Ryder, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you hitting the like, Fantasy Dog. Michael, what's up, man? Schultz or Everett PPR this week? Someone dropped Deontay Johnson. Should I drop OBJ or Tony for him? I mean, personally, I would drop Tony for him, but I don't really have faith in Tony from a fantasy perspective at the moment. But we'll see. With Hardman out this week, and you could see some more targets for Tony, but I would get Deontay, but you just have to understand Deontay Johnson's not really bringing a ceiling. I don't really think he's going to, even with Claypool's departure. So Deontay's just a safe floor player. And in terms of Schultz versus Everett, I'd probably go Everett, just because he's going to be like the number 2 target for Herbert tomorrow. So, well, it's not as good of a matchup. Schultz is a pretty safe option as well. Schultz, let's say it this way. Schultz for a floor, Everett for upside. Tyler, Sanders or Lazard? Thinking Sanders. I'd probably go Sanders here. But I think Lazard's going to have a decent day. I mean, I just think he's going to be due for some garbage time points. It's a tough matchup overall, don't get me wrong. But Lazard's been very consistent this season. And A-Rod's got to throw to someone throughout this game. It'll probably be Lazard. But Sanders just feels super safe against Commanders. Michael, Sanders or Swift in PPR? Yeah, I mean, Sanders is your safe, your floor play here. You know, the riskier play is Swift, but he brings far more upside. So I would just kind of evaluate the rest of your roster and kind of see if you feel like you want to go for some upside, or if you want to go kind of just for a safe play and you feel like you're in a pretty good position. So Sanders for that floor, Swift for the ceiling. Tony, what's up? Evening, PPR. Taysom Hill, I'm assuming. Not Tyreek Hill. Everett or Komet? I would go Komet here. I think Komet's going to have a nice day against the Lions for sure. I'll go Komet. Gotcha, Damio, of course. Darnell Mooney or Metcalf? Woo! I like Mooney versus the Lions tomorrow, but I'll go Metcalf. I ain't bitching Metcalf right now, but I like Mooney tomorrow. And full PPR, of course. If it's not full PPR, then definitely Metcalf. TX, what's up, bro? Diego, Jamal Williams, or Jeff Wilson? I still go Jamal Williams here. Good matchup against the Bears. I'll go Jamal Williams for sure. But Wilson's got a good matchup too, but I'm going to go Jamal Williams. I haven't played the new COD at all, TX. I just haven't had time. I don't even know if I'm going to have time ever. It's sad. Caleb, what's up, man? Glad you're streaming. I'm glad you're here with us, my dude. Where's my help? Who should I start, Michael Pittman or Gabe Davis? I mean, I'm probably going to go Pittman. Pittman's your 4 option, your safer overall option, a good matchup for me against the Raiders. Gabe Davis, if you're going to start Gabe Davis, you have to be prepared for him to score like 4 or 5 points. But he can also bring a much, just a nice ceiling overall. Like we know he's a boomer bust option. So the safer option, when I'm looking at this, is going to be Pittman. But you can start Gabe Davis. It should be a competitive matchup. He's due for a good game, but he's got to understand, Gabe Davis, Mike Williams, in kind of that same category of a boomer bust type player. And we see plenty of receivers on a yearly basis. Devonta Smith for the Eagles, another example. I would even put like maybe Jerry Jeudy in that kind of that same category, right? So you don't know what you're going to get. You're crossing your fingers it's going to be good, but it probably won't be. How do you feel about Swift this week? Full PPR? I think Swift is perfectly fine. I would hope that he's a flex option for you, but I think that you can roll with Swift this week. Do you think Kyler Murray will play? I mean, I would be lying to you if I told you I knew, but it's not a good... If you own Kyler Murray, you need to have a backup plan in place. And kind of, we talked about this at the beginning of the stream, the unfortunate thing is majority of your games are going to kick off before the Cardinals game and before we have a for sure answer, more than likely. I would imagine he's going to try and get through pregame warm-ups tomorrow. Like, I think that's going to be a last-minute decision. So if Kyler doesn't play, then, like, you're leaning on Colt McCoy, or hopefully Jimmy G is still out there. If not, you're probably going to have to go Taylor Heineke unless someone in your league dropped Aaron Rodgers. Like, you got the Cardinals, Rams, Cowboys, Packers, Chargers, Niners, Commanders, Eagles. Like, those are the 4:25 or later games. So it's not pretty. Like, this is a week with a couple buys and everything. So most of your games are in the 1 o'clock slate. And then we got 4:05 game is the Colts Raiders. So and that doesn't really help you out. I mean, I guess maybe Derek Carr could be available in your league, but it's not a good situation. I own Kyler, and I don't know what in the world I'm going to do, because I actually have 2 quarterbacks in that league, but my second quarterback is Joe Burrow, and he is on bye week. So, Bryce, do I trade Saquon and Pitts for Kittle, Dalvin, and Higgins? Ooh, I mean, that's not a bad trade. Not a bad trade, Bryce. But I'd probably keep Saquon. Bryce, it depends on the rest of your roster. It's a pretty good trade, actually. I mean, you're replacing Saquon with Dalvin Cook. So you get the RB13, who's still bringing a lot of consistency. He's just not bringing out Dalvin Cook numbers. But we also got to keep in mind, he's not bringing out Saquon Barkley numbers, excuse me. He gets Buffalo, Dallas, New England, the Jets in the next couple weeks. That's a tough 4 weeks for Dalvin Cook. Then he gets Detroit, Indy, the Giants, and Green Bay. A little bit of a better stretch there. Giants aren't too bad against the run. But it's not a bad trade per se, actually. But I just hate to see you lose Barkley. I really do. I mean, he's your RB6 at the moment. But obviously on bye week last week, so probably closer to that number 3 or 4 mark. Joe Mixon really jumped in front of a couple of running backs here. But it's ultimately, Bryce, I hate to see you lose Saquon, but it's definitely a trade worth considering, being that you get Kittle and T. Higgins on top of Dalvin. I mean, it's like I am not a fan of Kyle Pitts, so replacing Pitts with Kittle I really like. And getting Dalvin and Higgins for Saquon is not that bad. I consider it, Bryce. Let me know what you're thinking. Champ SC, Freiermuth or Dulcich and Standard. I like both this week, but I'll go Greg Dulcich because the matchup is far better. Far, far better. Freiermuth gets a really tough matchup this weekend. Saints one of the best teams against opposing tight ends. Matt, I think Ingram is who I have starting currently. Thanks, of course, bro. Yeah, it's close there. Close between Ingram and Heineke. If it wasn't a tight end premium league, I'd probably go Heineke there. But close between those two. Start one, Godwin, Palmer, Sun, or Jeff Wilson in full PPR. I go with one of the receivers here, Caleb. The safest play is Godwin, but he doesn't bring a lot of upside. I'd probably go Josh Palmer, but it's not the best matchup against the Niners, but I do think that the Chargers are going to be forced to throw the football here. So, I mean, last week he was your number one against Atlanta, but Atlanta is a very different team in comparison to San Francisco. But in week 6, he got Denver, and he had 15.7 points in full PPR. Denver is one of the best teams in the league against opposing receivers. I go Palmer. Let's lock it in, Caleb. Let's go Palmer. Sutton gets a good matchup, but just so inconsistent as of late. Are we starting Jamal Williams or Swift in PPR? Dara, your guess is as good as mine. I literally own both these backs in the league, and I'm starting both of them because I don't know what to do. I mean, Jamal is your floor play, the less risky play. Swift is the risky play who brings upside, you know? So look at it that way. We need to play banged up Josh Allen over Daniel Jones, right? I would absolutely. Who do you flex? Mostart, Thielen, or Dulcich? Thielen's okay here, but I'd probably go Greg Dulcich. Mostart, I need to get a little bit more of a sample size on Mostart with Jeff Wilson in this backfield as well. Like at the moment, overall, we're leaning towards Jeff Wilson having the upside at the moment, but it's just Mostart still scored last week, you know? So it's close here. It's close here. I don't know. That backfield is just confusing. Point I'm getting to. But I really like Greg Dulcich. Like, I think he's super safe, but not a ton of upside at the tight end position. Like, 10 to 12 points out of Greg Dulcich this week is probably what you're going to get. But it is a really good matchup, and I think the Broncos are going to be forced to throw the football. I think the Titans will ultimately kind of lock up this run game, right? So in his last 3 weeks, he's had 12.4, 11.1, and 12.7 in full PPR. So I think it's a good matchup against Tennessee. They haven't played well against position. So Thielen doesn't bring as safe of a floor, but probably brings a little bit more upside. So I think the safest play is Dulcich. KJ, what's up? JT, Evans, Amon-Ra, Lazard, or Pollard if Zeke misses. Well, if Zeke doesn't play, then I go Pollard here straight up. But you have some really good options overall. Like I could easily see any of these players outscoring each other, so it's pretty close here. I would go Pollard if Zeke misses. But I probably go Amon-Ra, then Lazard, Evans, Pollard. I don't know why in my head I'm just counting JT out. That's very tough, KJ. Who are you thinking? Let's kind of dissect that one a little bit because you got JT against the Raiders, a little bit banged up. We're just like, we are just counting Jonathan Taylor out, aren't we? Guys, if you are a Jonathan Taylor owner, let me know in the chat. If you're not a Jonathan Taylor owner, let me know in the chat anyways. Would you start Jonathan Taylor this week? He's got a very good matchup against Las Vegas. Deion Jackson is still banged up as well. So, okay, Deion Jackson's out. Zach Moss is your backup running back to JT. I could easily see Jonathan Taylor bouncing back this week against the Raiders. I might just roll with JT. Is that crazy? We gotta dissect. I mean, you got some good options here, man. I could see any of these players outscoring each other. So we'll kind of we'll go through this one throughout the night. Christopher, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Emojis in the chat for Christopher. Appreciate you, man. Ricard White, Sutton, Mostart, or Samuel at flex. I would rank these Curtis Samuel, believe it or not. I think he's a great flex option this week. The Commanders are going to be forced to throw the football in this game script against the Eagles. Tough matchup on paper, but actually the last time the Commanders played the Eagles in what was a complete blowout, a disastrous day for the Commanders at home, Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin had double-digit fantasy days, a full PPR. So I'll go Samuel, and I'll go Sutton, because Sutton's got a really good matchup against Tennessee. He's just so volatile on a weekly basis. Then I'll go Ricard White because the Seahawks have not played well against the running back position, but ultimately this defense is playing well, just not against running backs. And on top of that, like these Germany games, I don't know how to rate them. Like I just feel like they're going to be identical to the London games where just everything goes out the window. There's no way to get a good read on these games that involve a lot of travel. Not necessarily a short week like a Thursday night game, but just weird games. Then I go Mostart. Mostart's got a good matchup, but I just feel like there's risk involved, right, at the end of the day. with Jeff Wilson being added into this backfield. So Samuel, Sutton, Ricard White, then Mo start, Christopher. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let me know if you need anything else, man. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to break down. And we'll keep at it, my dude. I appreciate you, my guy. All right. Caleb, should I drop Pitts in full PPR? Should have Njoku coming back soon. I mean, once you have a clear tight end to start over him, I would say yes. Yeah. I have no faith in Kyle Pitts. You guys know that. Should I start Palmer or George Pickens or Samuel? I would go Palmer, Caleb. Kevin, pick 2. Chubb, Walker, Swift, Taylor, Sanders. Whew. Chubb and Walker. But, gosh, you got some good options. Chubb and Walker, though. Flex, Gabe Davis, Pollard, Godwin, or Randall Robinson. I would go Pollard. But Godwin's your next best option. Zeke, Deontay Johnson, or Singletary. Worried about Zeke not playing on that afternoon game. Let's just double check what we've got for Zeke at the moment. He's a game time decision. Yeah, they want to see how he responds during pregame workouts before they make a final decision. I don't know, man. That doesn't sound great. But he could definitely play. If he doesn't play, go Deontay. If Zeke plays, I'd probably go Zeke over Singletary and Deontay. Better chance to score. Fearmouth or Dolchich in standard, I go Dolchich, champ. Who's winning tomorrow? Giants or Texans? I'll go Giants. I'll go Giants. Jelly of the month, what's up? 6 guys on a bye / injury. Mac Hollins, okay, wide receiver 3. DeAndre Carter on the wire. Mac Hollins is fine, but I thought he'd be a decent streaming option last week. A decent, desperate flex play, and he disappointed, but yeah, Renfro's out, Waller's out. Mac Hollins fine against the Colts. Why not? 6-3 in the 2 QB league. I have Murray, Wilson, and Watson as my third. Should I drop Watson to pick up Murray's backup if he doesn't play, or bite the bullet and keep Watson because I know someone will pick him up? I'd probably hold on to him. Who else can he drop, TX? Who else can he drop? Depends on what else. How good of a position are you in for the week? Who else can he drop? Let me know. Penguin Master, should I start Kirk Cousins or Kyler if Ertz and Bills defense and Noah Fant? I would start Kirk Cousins. Just get it over with. Get him in your lineup and don't have to worry about the later slate of games. And if Kyler's going to start, if he's not going to start, I just start Kirk Cousins. At least, I mean, he's quarterback 10 in fantasy. Safe floor, not a lot of upside, but I just roll with him, man. You think Fournette will lose his RB1 title? It's possible. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, man. It's possible. But this could be the week. It might not be the week. It's just, I don't know. Could be a straight committee. We'll see what happens. But it's possible. Could be a Ricard White coming out party. Ryan, I know if Zeke sits tomorrow, Pollard is a must-start, but if Zeke plays, who do I start, Pollard or Jeff Wilson? I'd probably still go Pollard. I just got a good feeling about Pollard this week, so I have him as a start. Yeah, I roll with Pollard. But if you're not comfortable with it, Jeff Wilson's fine. But personally, I would start Pollard. Should I wait for Kyler or should I play Brady? Oh, goodness gracious. Who else is out there, Caleb? Let me know. I mean, it just depends. Like, if you don't... The backup options to Kyler Murray in those later games are just really bad. Really bad. Like, Rodgers might be available. Like, at least he gets you, like, hopefully 16 points. But I don't know. He plays the Cowboys. And he's looking a little shaky. Jimmy Garoppolo is the best option in the later games. Like, if you can hold Kyler and Jimmy G and then see what happens with Kyler... Start him if you want, if he plays, and if not, go Jimmy G. But Jimmy G is like a top streaming priority for a lot of people this week, so he's probably not available. I mean, if you don't play Brady, you seriously run the risk of Kyler not playing. But I don't love Brady tomorrow. The Seahawks defense is not bad at all. But I don't know, this Germany game, things could go out the window. I might just start Brady. I don't love it, though. AJ, St. Brown, and Metcalf are my weekly starters. Tony, OBJ, or if I can pick up Deontay or stash depth players. Thanks for your input, bro. Love being able to pick your brain for free. Of course, bro. That's what we're here for, man. Personally, Michael, I'd rather have Deontay Johnson over Tony or OBJ. That's just me, though. You know, I don't have a lot of faith in Tony, so personally, I would rather roster Deontay than Tony. Let's see. What's up, V? Torn between Sutton or JWJ. I probably go Sutton here. It's a good matchup. Take the matchup, man. Nah, I don't know. I kind of like Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson for a floor, Sutton for upside, but more risk. After Kelsey and Andrews, all tight ends are about the same, in my opinion. You're not far off there, Jason. I think there's a little bit more consistency in a couple names. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Hawkinson. And then once you move into the next tier, I would probably agree with you, my guy. But Kittle's starting to come back on. He usually, he does that. He kind of has off points and then on points. Kittle's coming back. I think Schultz, as the season goes on, will keep some consistency as well. I think Pat Freiermuth has been very underrated on the season, at least in full PPR. And Tyler Higbee was up there, but he's just really dropped off. So, but I don't disagree with what you're saying, man. I mean, once you get outside of that first tier, there's a major drop to the second tier, and the drop to the third tier is ridiculous. Alex, miss your pick on one flex, Singletary, Herbert, Mostart, Wilson Jr. I probably go Wilson Jr. here, but I think Herbert's the next best option. Bronson, what's up, man? Pick 2 to start, pick and Sealand, DPJ. Ooh, I kind of like all these options in one way or another. I really like Donovan Peoples-Jones against Miami. I think it's a good game script. At full PPR, he's been pretty consistent over the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's had at least 9.1 or more fantasy points in the... most of those games have been like 10 to 11 fantasy points. So, like, he's a safe flex. Doesn't bring a lot of upside, which is really what he used to be known for. It's just complete boom or bust upside. And, he's just a little bit more consistent. But it's a good matchup, right? Miami is just one of these teams that when they're playing, we want to have players in that game because it's like Miami and the Bears are like the two teams right now. I mean, Detroit, I guess, is in that mix as well. And even the Browns to some degree. The Seahawks are another team I feel like kind of in that mix who are just allowing good game scripts overall from a fantasy perspective. So, yeah, give me DPJ. Give me Pickens if it's full PPR. If not, go Thielen. Let's see. Tom Brady or Trevor Lawrence this week? I go Trevor Lawrence. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. I just don't know what to expect out of this Germany game. It's kind of hard to get a read on. I do think that there's a chance that it gets a little wacky. Give me Trevor Lawrence against the Chiefs. Give me Lawrence. Everett or Schultz this week? What's up, Benz? I go Schultz. But Everett's okay, too. Tom Brady or Jared Goff? I probably go Jared Goff. I mean, didn't we make the decision like last week until we see a consistent pattern out of Brady? Actually, we made that decision a couple weeks ago. Like, his ceiling is just so low. I mean, he's going to throw the ball like 45 to 50 times. We know that for sure. It's just tough, man. Seattle's played well overall defensively. I guess I go with Goff here. I mean, he gets a pretty good matchup against the Bears. A pretty solid streaming option for sure. They're going to run the football a lot. Oh, gosh. It's pretty close there. I'll go... I mean, Goff has the better matchup, but Brady's not an awful starting comparison to Goff. What are you thinking, man? Tony, Flex Quest. I think I was supposed to say Flex Question, but I like Flex Quest more. Aaron Jones or Pickens. Aaron reported is healthy. Yeah, with Jones good to go, then I'm going to go Aaron Jones here over Pickens. It is a bad matchup, I'll say that much. But the advantage with Aaron Jones is he's going to be involved in the passing game. You know, very, very sad week last week, leaving that game against Detroit. He should have had arguably one of his best games of the season against that Detroit Lions defense, but it's not a good matchup. Like, I don't even really care about the injury and everything. Like, I care more about this matchup here, and it's a steep matchup. If you feel more comfortable, you can go Pickens. It is full PPR, so. Jones against the Cowboys isn't pretty. Would you cut Deontay Johnson or Brandon Cooks for Matt Collins? I personally would cut Brandon Cooks, but not because I want Matt Collins that bad, just because I don't have faith in Brandon Cooks at the moment. So, Kyle, how are you doing, bro? What's up, Kyle? Pick one to drop, Akers, Herbert, or Pickens. I'd drop Akers in a heartbeat. Not even close, Kyle. Not even close for me. Do you think that Watson will return to his old self, being away from football for such a long time? Maybe not right out the gate, but he'll get close, I think. But I've been telling you guys for weeks, like, don't depend on Deshaun Watson being your starting quarterback. Like, we need to see it happen before we get too excited here. Like, if you're going out and holding Watson, or just don't plan on him being your starter. We just don't know. We want to see it happen first, you know. He's perfectly fine to roster as a QB2 until we see it happen, but we got to see it happen first. So it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Rondo Moore, Jeff Wilson at flex. I'll go Wilson at the moment because we don't know if Kyler's going to play. So he's my number one waiver on Kyle Pitts if someone dropped him. Cameron, I would not personally. I would not. Finn, should I trade Geno and Olave for Fields? Depends on the rest of your roster. Depends on if, you know, how much it hurts you to lose Olave or how much it doesn't hurt you. So, depends there. Depends. Playing Henry, Chubb, A.J. Brown, Kelsey, debating QB and flex. I have Tom, Geno, and Dak. Flex, I have Amon-Ra, Pittman, and Olave. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough matchup this week, isn't it, bro? I would start Dak Prescott against the Packers. I don't know what to read for this early Germany game. Guess it's not going to be early for them, it's early for us. But I go Dak Prescott. Had 26 points before the bye against the Bears, so I like him this week. Flex, I have Amon-Ra, Pittman, and Olave. I go Olave. He gets the Steelers secondary. They're not playing well. Yeah. Patrick, give me Dak and Olave. Boba Fett, what's up, man? Trade Chase for Amon-Ra and Swift. Depends. If you're in a win-now situation, yes. If you're not, I'd probably hold Chase. If you need to win now, I say it's a fine trade. Richie, what's up, man? Be real, what's going on? Is Treylon Burks worth a start? No. I would not start him. Can you roster him? Can you hold on to him? Sure, I would not start him right out the gate. But, I mean, it's not a good matchup against the Broncos at all. Even with Justin Simmons out. But, no, I wouldn't start him. Jeff Wilson or Rashad White. Current Wilson is in lineup. Jelly, I would go with Jeff Wilson. Yeah. Hat PPR. Do I start Swift or Jamal Williams? Jamal Williams is your safe play. Swift is your upside play, more risk. I can play Jimmy G, Brady, Kyler, or Kirk Cousins. What I would do, Caleb, is I would hold on to Jimmy G and Kyler. If Kyler gets the start, you can go Kyler. If not, you can just roll with Jimmy G against the Chargers and you get a safe floor. Like, I don't think that Kirk is bringing too much of a higher ceiling in comparison to Jimmy G. And Brady's just a big question mark. Like, I'm probably holding on to Jimmy G and seeing what happens with Kyler here. Stafford likely out 9 Cup. I think Cup will be okay, but yeah, his ceiling does drop, KJ. DC King, what's good, bro? How are you doing? Happy PPR, Jamal Williams or Mo start? I go Jamal Williams this week. TX, I can only hold 3 QBs. There are no starting QBs on the waiver. My opponent has Carr, Roger, Connor, Eno, Cup, Claypool, Fant, Mac Jones. Well, if there's no starting QBs on the waiver, then you got to bite the bullet this week, my dude. Right? Murray, Wilson, ETN, Walker, Hill, St. Brown, Everett, and Jamal, the Saints D. I mean, the starting lineup looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's no starting quarterbacks, there's nothing he can do, right? Richie, pick 2, DPJ, Burks, Hollins, Dillon. I go DPJ and Hollins, personally. Kirk or Russell Wilson? Give me Captain Kirk. Give me Kirk. But Wilson's not an awful stream. But he'll be oh wow, excuse me. He'll be able to throw tomorrow. Got ahead of myself there. But the pass rush is going to get after him a little bit, and the Broncos ultimately probably aren't going to be able to run the football too much. So, yeah, I would personally roll with. You like that Kirk Cousins in a competitive game script? Guys, should I trade Ayuk for Jamal Williams? Full PPR, I have Swift. It's not a bad, go out and get the handcuff. Why not? Why not? But it depends on the rest of your roster there. Randall or Nico Collins? I go Randall Robinson, Richie. Mac Hollins or Brandon Cooks in full PPR? I go Hollins. Yeah. Spence, how are you, man? What's up, Spence? 6-2 new UFC bets. Let's go. Up 12 units. I love it. If the Esperanza Zane fight goes the distance, I hit a plus 400 parlay. We're on a heater. Got to post it on. I need to make on Discord. I need to make like we already have a thread for Underdog pick'ems. I need to make a thread just for betting in general. Like maybe one for NFL betting and then one for everything else. So that you guys can post your picks on there as well. But I love to hear it, bro. I love to hear it. Let's go. Mel, what's up, man? Who do you think will have more passing yards and TDs? Goff, Brisket, or Dimes? I could see Jacoby Brissett having a pretty decent day tomorrow. Miami has not played well against the quarterback position. He had a really good game before the Week 9 bye. And I think that ultimately the Giants are going to run the football a lot against Houston. And I think that the Lions are going to run the football a lot against the Bears. Don't get me wrong. The Browns can run the football too. But I go Jacoby Brissett here, Richie. I picked up Elijah Mitchell in the Dynasty League. Was that a really good ad? Perfectly fine. I mean, he's your handcuff to CMC for sure. So nothing wrong with that at all. AG, so you recommend stashing OBJ now? If I do it, I have to drop Randall, Harmon, Madison, or Everett. I mean, I would probably rather have any of those players over OBJ just because we don't really have a clear answer on when and where he's playing, and I've read that he's not going to play until December. So yeah, you're truly stashing him. I mean, you just have to look at it like, what is your personal conviction and faith in Odell Beckham? Like last year, I had a lot of faith in Odell Beckham, and he played well. This year, I'm not exactly sure. Depends on where he goes. And I had a lot of faith in Beckham once he was on the Rams. I'll say that part too. Just felt like it was a good fit. Depends on where he goes this year. But I will say this much: if Randall Robinson has a down week this week, he's the player I'd drop. I'd keep Hardman, Madison, and Everett. Jamal Williams or Jeff Wilson as a running back 2, I will go Jamal Williams. Good matchup for Wilson, though. I'll go Jamal Williams. Charlie, what's up? Happy PPR, Mooney or Palmer, and Aaron Jones or Swift. Woo. Mooney for a floor, Palmer for upside. I like Mooney this week against the Lions, though. Aaron Jones or Swift. Give me Swift. Bad matchup for Jones. Spence fight did not go the distance and now 6-3. Damn, dude, that sucks. I was so hyped for you. OBR, what's up? I give Josh Jacobs, Curtis Samuel. I receive Najee Harris and CD. That trade's fine. I mean, you lose a little bit of upside at running back. But Najee Harris, a very favorable playoff schedule. And I think you gain a better receiver in CeeDee Lamb. Zachary, what's going on? How are you doing, man? Cup, Monty for JT and Olave. I keep the Cup side. Give me the Cup side. I want Cup on my team. Hat PPR, do I start Sanders or Cooper at flex? I go Cooper. I mean, I like Sanders a lot this week, but I think Cooper against Miami is a good matchup here. Give me a Cooper. Who can I get with the Keenan Allen and Gerald Everett package? Go look at your teams in your league that are probably in a good position and or are hurting at wide receiver and tight end. Kind of hard to say, man, but probably a decent receiver, maybe like a Darnell Mooney. You're probably not going to get a whole lot until we see Keenan Allen put some production on the table. So Deontay Johnson, Darnell Mooney, maybe a Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, but unfortunately probably nothing crazy. Olrak, PPR, pick 2, Mooney, Samuel, Moore, Godwin, Gallup, and Peoples-Jones. I go Mooney against the Lions. And I go either Curtis Samuel or Godwin. Godwin for a floor, Curtis Samuel for upside. Caleb, someone is trying to give me Higbee, Clyde, and Claypool. I would give up A.J. Brown in first round in full PPR. I would lose this trade. Yeah, I would say so for sure. I would not give up A.J. Brown in a Dynasty League right now. I would not give up Brown in a first rounder for Clyde, Claypool, and Higbee. I would not do the trade, Caleb. Zachary, T-Law, Brisket, Russell, or Jimmy G. These are all good streaming options for the week. But I'll go Trevor Lawrence. I go Lawrence, then Jimmy G. Brisket, then Russell. I'm not ready to trust Russ, but he's not an awful option. Good streaming options here, man, overall. TX, if Murray doesn't play, is Rondell worth the flex start? I have Cooks and Dillon. Over those options, specifically, I still go Rondell Moore. Yeah, over those options, I'm going to go Rondell Moore, regardless of if Kyler plays or not. But I would not start Cooks or Dillon. But yeah, Rondell loses value without Kyler Murray out there for sure. Deontay or Rondell Moore in half PPR. It depends. I'd probably go Dana. It really depends. Like if Kyler plays, then I'm going Rondell Moore for sure. But wait, let's see here. So the Steelers play at 1. I mean, Deontay has significantly less value in a half PPR league. So I might go Rondell Moore here because I feel like he's got a better chance to score. Tough. Deontay in half PPR has just been very underwhelming. But Rondell Moore loses a lot of value without Kyler. Tough decision there. Which player are you leaning towards? Richie, Tennessee or Arizona this week? That's a good question because I did want to bring up, like, if Kyler and or Stafford doesn't play, you know, Arizona's gonna get a boost if Stafford's not out there. Although Stafford has not played well against opposing defenses this year. And the Rams get a boost if Kyler's not out there. So those are two defenses that might be out there for you who are worth the stream. I'd probably go Arizona. You know, I like Tennessee. I think they have a safe floor, but I think they risk upside overall without the secondary. You know, I just don't think they have a good secondary. So they are a good defense, but are they a great fantasy defense? Not exactly. They're defense number 13. So I don't know, man. I have a feeling that Denver's going to get it done through the air tomorrow. So I go Arizona, and they get a big boost if you get a backup QB out there. But like I said, even if Stafford was playing, I still like Arizona. Dominic, pick 2, Antonio Gibson, Wilson, Mostert, or Monty. Give me Jeff Wilson. And I have to start Monty against the Lions, but Gibson's a little sneaky here. But I'll go Wilson and Monty just because Monty gets the Lions. Caleb, thanks for helping with all my questions. I'm sorry if it's a lot. You're good, bro. That's what we're here for, man. I encourage the fantasy questions. That's the point of the stream. But I appreciate you, Caleb. No worries, man. Should I offer Keenan Allen and Gerald Everett for Amari Cooper? And I pick up a free agent tight end? Well, it depends on what tight end he can get out. You know, who's out there on the waiver, you know. If there are some pretty good options, like if there's a Greg Dulcich out there, if Pat Freiermuth got dropped, or Cole Kmet is someone you can stream. You know, those guys are basically in the same tier as Gerald Everett at the moment. Hayden Hurst is your tight end 8. He may have got dropped due to the bye week. If players like that are out there, then yeah, I say go for it. Should I trade Aaron Jones away in a 4th round pick for Swift and Dynasty? Ooh. Oh, man. I don't know if I can do it, Caleb. I just don't know if... I don't know if I can do it. It just holds a lot of risk. Like, when is Swift going to be fully healthy? I just don't know, man. I just don't know. How do you feel about it? What is that song you have for the background? So we use a website called Epidemic Sounds, I believe, where I just pay a fee every month, and then it's like links to my YouTube account, and then YouTube recognizes that I pay that fee, and I'm able to use it's non-copyrighted music that artists have put on that website, and they get a portion, you know, of the subscription fee that everyone pays, right? But the song is called The Ace. The artists are called Ballpoint, Cushy with a C, and then underscore 91 Nova. So that's the one I mainly use. There's one or two other ones we have in rotation, but lately, like this year, that's been the main song. I feel like it's a good mix of like kind of hype, kind of chill. So I always like having a little bit of music in the background. I feel like it makes it a little bit more like every now and then we get a comment and people complaining about music, and I'm like, it just fills that that quiet noise, you know, that like, I don't know. I feel like when it'd be so weird if I stream without music at this point. So, but yeah, any prop bets you're leaning towards this week? Not exactly. I don't have any like parlays or anything going, but in terms of Underdog, I'll let you guys know what I'm looking at on Underdog. There's a couple that I like. Staying away from this Germany game. Weird game. I will tell you though, one of my favorites is Robert Woods lower than 34.5 receiving yards. You know, he's going to get Pat Surtain. The Broncos, in general, are one of the best teams against opposing receivers. He's played awful as of late. He might see more production with Tannehill out there, but regardless, like I just love this line for Bobby Trees, lower than 34.5 receiving yards. There's a couple others that I like. Waddle's been raised a little bit, but I still like Waddle's receiving yard line at a higher. Hill isn't bad, but it's like every week I'm like, man, that Hill line's just a little bit too high. But it's still not bad because he's just playing stupid football right now. This is interesting. For some reason, Pittsburgh is only showing Jaylen Warren. I wonder why that is. Couple more I like here. Steven Sims. Oh, there's all of Pittsburgh. That's weird. It's showing out of order. Let's see here. I like Justin Fields over 62.5 rushing yards. I think when I got this line, it was higher. I think I have a slip in right now. Oh, no, it was lower. I have Justin Fields over 59.5 rushing yards. And I still like Justin Fields over 62.5. I think that's a good line. I'm not done. I kind of like Pierce to score a touchdown, but the Giants haven't played too bad against running backs. But he's just been very consistent as of late. I will say I love Saquon Barkley to score a rushing touchdown. He gets Houston. I think that's unfair. I like Travis Etienne to score a rushing touchdown as well. But anytime you have a line where it's just a rushing touchdown as opposed to a rushing and or receiving touchdown, it's a little bit riskier. The other line I like is I like Darnell Mooney at 3.5 receptions. I think, once again, hold on. Okay, yeah, I like Mooney at 3.5 receptions. I think that's a good line as well. Those are really my top picks for the week on Underdog. So, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what I'm looking at for the weekend. And those are pretty thought out. I've went through these picks like all week, so. All right, Dana, I'm leaning towards Deontay because I don't think Kyler's going to suit up. Also, have Singletary or Mac Hollins. Need the best floor I can get. Yeah, if you're going for a floor, I say go Deontay Johnson. Just safe floor on a weekly basis. Plus, I guess the other aspect here is we didn't really talk about Claypool's gone. So overall, there should be more volumes for Deontay. So I agree. I'd probably go Deontay, man. Started Algier and Pitts. Yikes. I thought Algier would have a much better game. But I have CMC and Hill. Should I be worried about losing my matchup? I mean, if you have CMC and Hill, you have a shot, like, no matter what. So, you definitely still have a chance here. Santos, Keenan Allen, Gus Edwards, and Damian Harris on the wire. Which two should I stash on IR or Elijah Moore? I have Stevenson. I would stash Damian Harris then, so you lock up that backfield, and I would stash Keenan Allen over Gus Edwards, personally. Because the Ravens' backfield is so completely back and forth. So, at least you lock up the Patriots' backfield for sure, and then you get a receiver in Keenan Allen. Safe to play Kirk Cousins. Yes, Anthony, a safe floor, not a great ceiling, but completely safe in terms of a week-to-week start. What's your stance on trade vetoes? They have a place, but like they can also be abused. But I think that they're fine to have. You know, it gives your league a little bit of a voice. And if there is generally, like, if there's a trade going on that's just completely unfair, like, then your commissioner should just take care of it, you know. But they do have a place, but I think they can be abused. Like, if there's just a team that's playing well and the rest of your league doesn't want that team to acquire any players, you know, then you can just veto a trade easily. But it's hard to look at, you know. But they have a place and they can be abused. Fearmouth or Dolchich? I would go with Dolchich. Go with Dolchich. Fearmouth has the tougher matchup. I do like both, but I go Greg Dolchich. Good, TX. I'm glad you enjoyed the jam, bro. I'm leaning towards Deontay. Okay, we hit that one already. John Edwards, how are you, man? Great to see you. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Appreciate you being here. Is Noah Fant the better option this over Higbee? Higbee has been hurting me the last 5 weeks. Oh, gosh. I mean, if Stafford was starting, I'd go Higbee. I'd probably go Higbee. Fant's not awful. Tampa Bay hasn't played great against the position. But give me Higbee regardless of quarterback because the Cardinals are the second worst team in the league against opposing tight ends. Give me Higbee. Yeah, give me Higbee. Godwin versus Myers rest of the season. Volume versus TDs. I'll take Godwin. I mean, the Bucs are throwing the football like 45 times a game. You know, Godwin's going to get 10 targets a game at least. So, but Myers is not playing bad football. He's played extremely consistent on the season. You know, I think his only game without double digits was week 9 against the Colts. And he had 6 targets, 5 receptions, 42 receiving yards. So, outside of that, every game he's played in, he's had 10 or more fantasy points. So, he's been very consistent, you know. But I'd probably go Godwin if I had to choose one. Got Hunt in my flex right now, but can plug in Tony or Hollins or bench Swift for Hunt and play Tony or Hollins in my flex. I would keep Hunt in your flex. And I would keep Swift in your starting lineup. I think they're better starts than Tony or Hollins, personally. Richie, Fields or Hurts? I go Hurts. We've talked about this on the week. I love both. I would hold on to both. Both are perfectly fine to roster. You know, but overall, I'm not benching Jalen Hurts right now, and he has a great matchup against the Commanders, so I will go with Hurts, but they're both going to have really good weeks, Richie. Dana, good luck to you as well. Appreciate you hanging out tonight. Welcome to the Catch Fan. Booger Dog, what's up? Mahomes or Fields? I'm facing Hurts. Go Mahomes. I mean, guys, I love Fields this week. It's a beautiful matchup, but I told you guys at the beginning of the week, Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen, you still have to start them. Then Justin Fields. Justin Fields is my QB4 on the week. He's going to have a good game. The Lions are bad. But we just can't afford to sit Hurts, Mahomes, or Josh Allen. Maybe Josh Allen because of the injury if you're scared about it. But I probably wouldn't anyways. Facing Hurts, yeah, I go Mahomes, man. He's going to have a good game against Jacksonville. Monty or Robinson or Carter in the flex. Isn't Carter on bye week? Yeah, if I'm thinking of Michael Carter, if we're talking the Jets, he's on bye week. Robinson is also on bye, so go Montgomery, Joey. You don't have a choice. He's got a good matchup against the Lions. Or I think you catch. I love those picks. Last week I almost won big. Got 4 or 5 for my pick'ems. Maybe I'll get insurance. Yeah, I do recommend, especially when you're starting out, run insurance. Not as high of a payout, I get it, but it's going to help you win ultimately and get some, some spending money in there. So I recommend running insurance. And I would say for every bet you make where you don't run insurance, make one where you do run insurance. I get it. It's not as exciting because of the lower payout, but it's worth it ultimately. It really is. Really, really is. Mike, thank you so much for the $2 dono. Would you start Pollard or Palmer in PPR? In PPR, Mike, I'm going to go Palmer. But if Zeke doesn't play, you can go Pollard here. He's got a really safe floor. And a good enough matchup against the Packers. But in full PPR, I still go Palmer. It's very close, bro. And I think Pollard brings about the same floor overall. But Palmer brings that upside. He's going to get hammered with targets. He had a good game a couple weeks ago against the Broncos, so I'm not too worried about the matchup overall. So, full PPR, I'll lean Palmer coming off a big game. I get it, the Falcons are one of the worst teams in the league against receivers, so he's got a much tougher matchup against the Niners. But, Mike, I'll go Palmer. How do you feel about it, man? Who are you leaning towards? Pollard's perfectly fine. Very close here, man. Mike, thank you so much for the $2 dono. I appreciate you, bro. Emojis in the chat for Mike. C-Crip, how's your night, man? I need help starting 2 in full PPR. Olave, St. Brown, or Evans. I'm leaning Evans and Olave. Believe it or not, I'm going to lean Amon-Ra and Olave. Seahawks have played good against position, but you can roll with Evans. Like, Evans is a great receiver. He can make those big plays against good defenses and good corners and everything. So, I don't have a problem with it, man. If that's who you feel the most confidence in, I think that's fine. But I don't have a problem if you want to roll. I definitely go Olave against Pittsburgh secondary, but Amon-Ra versus Evans, I don't think it's going to make or break you. Greg Dulcich or Komet rest of the season, I go Greg Dulcich. But Komet is going to have some very favorable matchups he's going to play well in. The unfortunate thing with Cole Komet is he's playing very well from a non-fantasy perspective. Like, he is ultimately playing great in terms of run blocking. Like, he's doing a lot of good things that don't correlate overall to fantasy football. But in some of these good matchups, like this week against the Lions, next week against the Falcons, he's going to have good games, but he's had some tough matchups. And Greg Dulcich Just looks like he's going to be consistent. So I'll go Grady D. I have a defense and kicker question. Do I start the Cardinals or Pittsburgh with Watt back? Also start Myers or go with Lutz. Or Gold. I start Jason Myers no matter what. The only kicker in front of Jason Myers in fantasy football right now is Justin Tucker. Start Jason Myers on a weekly basis. Not even close. Defense question is interesting. I think if, regardless of if Stafford sits or not, the Cardinals are a good start this week. So, that's close. But I like the idea of the Steelers against Andy Dalton company. But I just worry about this Steelers secondary. But this team is completely different with Watt on the field. But they did lose Minkah Fitzpatrick. I might go the Cardinals this week, and it's okay to roster both and see what happens with Pittsburgh, but I might go with the Cardinals this week. Let's see. I just got offered Chubb for Mike Williams and Tua. That's a smash except I have Fields. Yes. Yeah, C and B. Pick up Chubb for sure, bro. For sure. As long as it doesn't hurt your receiver value, it's a great trade. And even if it does, it's still worth considering. Herbert versus Niners or Danny Dimes. Give me Herbert. He's going to be forced to throw the football. Give me Herbert. Joey, DeAndre Carter and Randall Robinson. Oh, DeAndre Carter and Randall. I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry. I still go Monty here. I still go Monty against the Lions. But thank you for correcting me. Saw your video on running backs for playoffs. Michael Carter on wire. I have Williams. Drop Williams for Carter. Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is also in the video, so that's tough. Who else can he drop, man? Because they both the Lions backfield and the Jets backfield have very favorable matchups for the playoffs. Guys, I started a new series this week. Basically, just looking at strength of schedule for the fantasy playoffs, weeks 15 through 17. So I've got a video on running backs out, and I've got a video on quarterbacks out. Quarterbacks are more streaming options, and just quarterbacks you can stash if your respective quarterback has some tough matchups, which a lot of the top quarterbacks don't have good matchups in the fantasy playoffs, which probably won't hurt you too bad, but if you want to stash someone, there's some options in that video for you. And I will say Lamar Jackson is like the main starter in that video who is worth going out and trading for, especially with how he's been playing as of late with the low ceiling. He's got a very favorable schedule for the fantasy playoffs. So, Santos, who else can he drop? Because I think they're both worth rostering. Joey, yeah, I go Monty. That was my bad, man. I was like, both the Jets running backs are on bye week, man. Kyle, Ingram, Tanyan, or Komet. This week I go Komet, then Ingram, then Tanyan. Mike, I think I'll lean Pollard if Zeke doesn't play, but if he does, I go Palmer. I think that sounds perfect to me, man. Very close there. Both are going to have good weeks, I think. It's very close. TX, Giants or the Jets defense the rest of the season? Well, let's take a look here. The Jets are going to get New England, Chicago, Minnesota, Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle. That's pretty favorable. Giants get Houston, Dallas, Washington, Philly, Washington, Minnesota, Indy. That's not too bad, except they play Philly. But I don't know. Houston, Detroit. I don't know. They get Dallas. They get Washington twice. They get Minnesota. I'd try to roster both, as painful as it is, and play them based on matchup overall. I mean, I think I like the Jets defense more, but it's close. Some good matchups for both of them. Some not great matchups for both of them, too. Giants are defense 20. The Jets are defense 5. Give me the Jets. Like, from a fantasy perspective, they're playing better. Home Loan Larson, what's going on? How are you doing? Thoughts on tight end streamers? Options are Tanyan, Moreau, Fant, or Otten. I go Cade Otten. I love Cade Otten tomorrow. The Seahawks are the worst team in the league against opposing tight ends. He's coming off of his best performance of the year. He's probably in, Tom Brady's overall. What's the words I'm looking for? In his good graces. Coming off of a game-winning touchdown last week. So I go Cade Otten. I think he's a great stream this week, man. Yeah. I go Otten. Then Tanyan, then Moreau, then Fant. But yeah, ultimately I want Otten. Super C and B wide receivers are Waddle, Olave, Judy, Pittman, Smith, Tony, Boyd. You got running back Swift, Wilson, Carter, Harris. Yeah, I would do that trade in a heartbeat. Mike Evans, not Mike Williams. Oh, sorry if I said Mike Williams. I was thinking Evans the whole time, but yeah, I do that trade in a heartbeat. Champ SC. I can't tell if you're trolling me. I've answered your question like 7 times, my guy. I'm going with Greg Dulcich between Fearmouth and Greg Dulcich. I like both this week. Fearmouth has a tougher matchup, so I lean Greg Dulcich. Final time I'm answering it. Mel, what's up, bro? How do you rank this week? Full PPR, Olave, Sutton, Cooks, Moore, and Palmer. What's up, Mel? I go Olave, then Palmer, then Sutton, then Rondo, Moore, and Cooks. Olave, Palmer, Sutton, Moore, Cooks. I got you, champ. I almost kind of like it in the chat at this point, just like answering it. It's keeping the chat going, right? I appreciate you coming out tonight, my guy. Let me know if you have any other questions. Mel, full PPR, Jalen or Tua, also Higby or Fearmouth. I go Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I mean, Tua's going to have a nice week, but I go Jalen Hurts. I go Higby because the matchup's so much better. I mean, I like Fearmouth this week, but he just has a bad matchup. You should see a little bit more volume with Claypool gone, but give me Higby. His matchup ultimately is just too good to ignore. Mel, I'm glad you saw the video. Booger Dog, standard, need to Olave, Lockett, Kirk. Ooh, I think you had to go Olave. I think you just have to go Olave. Lockett or Kirk? Ooh, I like all these options this week. Give me Kirk. It's so close. You really can't go wrong here. Really can't go wrong. Who are you leaning towards? I mean, you're really trying to look at who has the best chance to score a touchdown. And in standard, it might be Lockett and Kirk, but Olave's just playing too good. Who are you leaning towards? Santos, I have Schultz starting, Hawkinson, also Jeff Wilson. I mean, I might drop Schultz and just roll with Hawkinson the rest of the year. How do you feel about that? Now I'm trying to see. Did the Vikings already have their bye week? Yeah, they did in week 7. I would just roll with Hawkinson the rest of the season. Or even if you can, well, I guess it doesn't help you to trade Schultz. Unless you can trade Schultz and Jeff Wilson and get a decent player and then pick up Michael Carter, that's fine too. TXI both rostered. I think that's fine, but ultimately if I had to pick one, I go with the Jets. Do you think Jameson Williams will be fantasy relevant this season? It's definitely possible, but I don't know if he's going to play till like December, if I'm not mistaken. So, I definitely... It's close. I don't know, man. I've heard different things. We'll see what happens. If he plays, yeah, I think he'll play a big enough role to be fantasy relevant. But he's no more than a stash at the moment. Don't get too crazy. Richie Davis, Mills, or Daniel Jones. Smash the like. Hey, I appreciate that. I go Daniel Jones. Give me Jones. We got you, Booger Dog. My RBs are Eckler, Kamara, ETN, benches, Swift, and Herbert. Yeah, so you got to, I mean, in the standard league, you're starting as many running backs as you can, right? Eckler, Kamara, ETN is ridiculous. You got to have all those guys in your lineup, so that helps a lot because you got a lot of good upside. You really can't go wrong. Great options at the receiver position, man. You could argue all around here. But at the end of the day, Olave, wide receiver 17 in standard. He's only scored 2 touchdowns on the year. I might go Lockett and Kirk in a standard league because I think they give you a better chance to score. Bob Sushi, what's up, man? Welcome to Catch Fam. Tua Fields for quarterback this week. Both are going to have great weeks. Both should be in very productive game scripts, but I'm going to go Fields against the Lions. Fields like my quarterback 4 on the weekend, but Tua might be 5 or 6, quite frankly. But I still go Fields. He should have a field day, no pun intended. Why so serious? You think Kyler Murray is playing? You got to prepare for him not to play. I'd be lying if I told you I knew if he was playing. But you just got to be prepared and make a game plan if he does not play. And right now, unfortunately, the options aren't great in those afternoon games unless Jimmy G is available in your league. Do you expect Gabe Davis to have a turnaround even with Allen out? Well, I think Allen's probably going to play, but ultimately, it's not that he needs a turnaround. It's just his role within that offense is so up and down. Like, you know, just all over the place. He's a boomer bust player, right? He's like Devonta Smith. He's like Mike Williams. So, on a week-to-week basis, it's tough to say. He's due for a good game. You know? Do I think it's going to be this week? It's very hard to say. Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest. But I hope he has a good game and turns it around if you're starting him. But you just have to be prepared if you own Gabe Davis. You have to be prepared for him to get you 5 points or 20 points. Like, not really an in-between. We got your Booger Dog. Champ, waiver wire pickup, Peoples-Jones or Pickens. Frankly, I'd probably go Peoples-Jones if it's full PPR. But Pickens is fine too. I just like Peoples-Jones this week against Miami. We got you, Bob. Blurpy, what's up? Any good streamer tight ends for the week? I could pick up Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau, Ingram, Komet, Otten, if no Brait. I don't even mind Otten if Brait plays. Or Gesicki, Amon-Ra, Olave. I go Komet against the Lions. Think he's going to have a good week. He's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, coming off his best performance of the season. Give me Cole Komet. I go Cole Komet, then Evan Ingram, then Otten. I still like Otten. It's a great matchup for him. So I go with those 3. Amon-Ra, Olave. Olave for a floor. Amon-Ra for more risk, but a little bit of upside as well. Yeah, Land, you just got it. I mean, I own Gabe Davis in the league, and at this point, he's on my bench. I just don't know what to do with him on a week-in, week-out basis, man. He's just so all over the place. It's tough to say, man. He's a boomer bust player. Holds value, but unfortunately hurts you a little bit in terms of you just don't know what he's going to do and how he's going to perform. Cadillac, what's going on? I have Fields and Lamar. My running backs are Jacobs, Stevenson, Connor. What QB do you think I should trade, and what running back should I try and shoot for? I would keep both of these quarterbacks, man, and play them due to matchup. Both of these quarterbacks are... Fields has some really good matchups coming up and some tough matchups coming up, and Lamar's got some really good matchups. And then Fields in Week 17 gets the Lions in the Fantasy Championship. If you have to trade one, believe it or not, I trade Fields because Lamar's currently serving his bye week, right? And then he gets Carolina, Jacksonville, Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. Like, the only matchup in there that I worry about is Denver. Lamar Jackson has a very favorable strength of schedule the rest of the season and throughout the fantasy playoffs. Fields, on the other hand, holds a lot of upside, holds all the buzz of the fantasy community. I get it. He gets Detroit this week, beautiful matchup. He gets Atlanta next week, beautiful matchup. I get it. Then he gets the Jets, Green Bay, a bye week at a very, inconvenient time in Week 14. Then Philadelphia, then Buffalo. Like, that's a really tough stretch, including a bye week. Then he gets Detroit in the fantasy championship. So, like, for him playing Detroit in the fantasy championship alone, I like him. But ultimately, if I have to pick one of the two, it's Lamar Jackson. And who could you trade Fields for? You can probably get pretty good value for Fields. He's going to have another good game this weekend. And even if he doesn't, you can still get good value for him. So you're probably not looking at, like, those top tier guys, but Josh Jacobs. Wait, who's on your team? You have Josh Jacobs, so don't trade for him. I mean, like, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard, Dameon Pierce, I think, is in the conversation. Potentially Kenneth Walker, if he has, he plays Tampa Bay, then he has a bye week in Week 11. Like, I think that he's actually kind of realistic if he doesn't have a great week this week against a good Tampa Bay run defense. So I do think you can get pretty good value for Fields right now for sure. Prey, what's up, bro? What do you think about JT? If you own JT, just start him. He gets Oakland. Uh-oh. I'm not allowed to say that. They're no longer the Oakland Raiders. He gets the Raiders this weekend. It's a good matchup. Just start him. Too much upside. Mike Evans or Kenneth Walker? Andrew, I got to roll with Kenneth Walker. He's just a player I want in my starting lineup. It's just too much upside on a weekly basis. Gotta be Kenneth Walker for me. It's close there. Evans does have a tough matchup. Don't get me wrong, Walker's got a tough matchup too. But I gotta go Walker. Why so serious? Monty or Raheem Mostert? I'm gonna go Montgomery against the Lions. Too good of a matchup, and Mostert's production's getting 8 into with Jeff Wilson around. Don't get me wrong, Mostert scored last week, but ultimately I'm gonna go with Monty here. Brissett, Carr, Mariota, and Rodgers are available in my league. Should I consider picking up one of them and dropping either Goff or Brady, as they've been pretty inconsistent for me? Well, the issue is I don't think any of these other players are consistent per se. Rodgers has, like, no ceiling. He's got a good playoff schedule. He's in the playoff video. Brissett only gives you a couple more weeks of value. He's got a good matchup this week. Miami's been really bad against opposing quarterbacks, but I don't think any option's necessarily better than Goff or Brady. You know what I'm saying? Prey says I'd start Goff or Brady. I think I agree. Mel, full PPR. If no Josh Allen, Jimmy G, Russell Wilson, T-Law, Carr, or Goff. I go Jimmy G. I ain't starting JT. I got Etienne and Chubb, then A.J. Brown. Okay, well then don't start JT. You're in a good spot, my dude. What are some starts and sits on the Vikings offense this week? It's tough because this is a bad matchup for them this week against the Bills, but I think this is a good game script. I think that the Vikings are going to keep this thing competitive. So, frankly, Ryder, I'm starting everyone. I'm not starting the Vikings defense. Not starting Alexander Madison. Too risky, but he could actually see some volume in this game potentially. I think Thielen, if you have to start him in the flex, is fine. You can't bench JJ. I think you still roll with Dalvin Cook. I think the volume is going to be there. I think you roll with Hawkinson too. I like the Vikings offense this week, and I like them in general, Stream Goff, Wilson, Carr, Lawrence, or Jimmy G. Give me Jimmy G, just the safest option. I go Jimmy G, Lawrence, Goff, Wilson, Carr. Cadillac, I like both quarterbacks, but I just hate to be in the dilemma going back and forth. Yeah, I listen, man, I get what you're saying, and I hate that for you as well. But I think even if you pick up any of those other quarterbacks, you're still having the dilemma on a weekly basis. So, frankly, you just got to look at who you have the most conviction in, what offense you like the best, and roll with them for the rest of the season. And frankly, I might just roll with right here Goff, but it's just tough there. It's tough. Let's see. Mel, sorry about the repeat. Oh, you did repeat. My bad. I answered it twice. You're good, man. Pray. Champ, I need a wide receiver. Fournette is a trading piece. Who can I trade for? I mean, he should still be able to get decent trade value out of Fournette. He's still your running back 9 on the season, you know? But with the uncertainty surrounding him, I mean, Terry McLaurin, believe it or not, I think T. Higgins is in that mix. DJ Moore should be a lock. Cortland Sutton, Deontay Johnson. I think Metcalf or Tyler Lockett would be really good trade options. Amon-Ra St. Brown's probably in that conversation. Darnell Mooney. Devonta Smith would be a lock. Alan Lazard would be a good... I mean, I think Metcalf, Lazard, or Lockett are good options. Christian Kirk might be stretching it. He's your wide receiver 10, but... yeah, I think all those guys are good options. Still your running back 6. I meant to clarify, Higbee or Freiermuth, I may need to drop one. I'd drop Higbee. I like Higbee more on this week, but on the season, I would go Freiermuth, you know. Ryder, I think this is going to be a Dalvin Cook game. Need to control the ball or control the game offensively and dominate the run game. Our O-line is amazing in the run this season. Yeah. Buffalo's been good against the running back position, so I do worry there. I see Dalvin 20-point game incoming, honestly. I like Dalvin this week, but it is a tough matchup on paper. But I won't be surprised if he has a good game. Pray, I'm in my head. I ask like the same questions at least 5 times a week in every stream. Cadillac's the same. Higbee worries me. He keeps getting less targets per week. Yeah. I like him this weekend just because the matchup is great. Arizona, the second worst team in the league against the position, but he is worrying me as well. I agree with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for about an hour and a half, so we're going to start winding things down. I'm sorry, I streamed a little bit later than I wanted to. I should have been on a little bit longer for the night, but I'm going to start winding it down because I got to get up a little bit early. But I will be on tomorrow around 11:30 for an hour or so before kickoff. Hang out till about 1 o'clock. And so we got some time tomorrow to get you guys some more injury updates, weather updates. Time to get your guys' rosters set and good to go for Week 10. Can you guys believe? Week 10. I mean, this season is just absolutely flying by. Literally. We're about to wrap up Week 10 and roll into Week 11 of the 2022 season and of the 2022 fantasy season. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Don't know where the season's gone. John ain't going to make it till 1 a.m. week. Gosh, it is 1. That's crazy. Booger Dog, I appreciate you hitting the like. Guys, hit that like button on the way out for me if you guys haven't done so already. Let's try to finish out strong with the like button. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to check out the links down below. Make sure to join the Discord. Completely free to do so. We got a good little community on there. You guys can always throw out your fantasy questions on Discord. Make sure to follow us on Instagram as well. Another place you guys can always hit me up when you guys have questions. Really, the 2 best places to reach us outside of the YouTube comment section and the live chat during streams is going to be Instagram and Discord. So, good resources for you guys. But hit that like. Check out the links down below. And I'll be on tomorrow before kickoff as well. I hate how the NFL bundles almost all the games at 1. You got to get red zone, man. Got to get red zone. Fancy Doc, thank you, John. You're very good at what you do. Easy listen to. I appreciate that, man. Very kind of you. Appreciate that, bro. Champ, I go DK by a hair. Go DK by a hair. But St. Brown's fine. Jason, new to the channel. I'm enjoying the streams. Keep it up, man. I appreciate that, Jason. Very kind of you, bro. It means a lot. A lot of hard work goes into this, so I appreciate when you guys send those messages, and I appreciate you guys being members of the community, whether you guys have been here since day 1 or you guys just joined last week. I appreciate you guys, and I love this community, man. Love you guys. Love to catch fam. I love doing this. This is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but I love seeing all the new faces around. I appreciate you guys being here. TX, I'm from Virginia. I was born in Northern Virginia. I live in Southern Virginia area now. Booger Dog, welcome to it, bro. Welcome to it. Pray you got with Red Zone. Okay, good. Fancy Dog, we'll see you in the morning. I usually watch Red Zone on my TV and watch the Dolphins game on my phone. Pray, are you a Dolphins fan? I never knew that. Ryder, good night, bro. We actually, if you refresh, we're at like 40 likes, so we should be good. San Antonio, nice. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'd love to visit Texas one day. Never been. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Thank you guys for hanging. Thank you guys, most importantly, for all of the fantasy questions, and thank you guys for keeping the conversation going in the chat and helping each other out. Appreciate you guys. Welcome to the Catch Fam, to all of the new subscribers. Appreciate you guys, man. And to all you guys who've been here beforehand, thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thank you to anyone who said a super chat. Guys, smash that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Check out the links down below. Join the Discord. Follow us on Instagram. You guys know what to do, man. I will be on tomorrow around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time before kickoff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, Pray, not a Dolphins fan, just like Tua. Okay, that makes sense. You do have him in fantasy. See you, TX. See you, Fancy Dog. Get some rest as well. Pray, still can't believe I got Tua with my last pick of the draft. Yeah, you had a pretty nice draft at the end of the day. See you, AGZ. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Be safe. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So that'll do it. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And